Good morning and greetings from Walterboro, South Carolina. I am standing right in front of the courthouse, the famous courthouse in Walterboro. And one of the unique things about this courthouse, it is on the National Register for Historic Places, and there's a reason. This courthouse, if you can see this, was designed by Mr. Robert Mills, one of the greatest early architects in America. He was from South Carolina. He was born in 1781. He died in 1855. And he has designed some amazing buildings in this country. He designed this portico right here in the courthouse, right here. But Mr. Mills designed the U.S. Treasury, the U.S. Patent Office. He designed the wings of Independence Hall in Philadelphia. But most importantly, Robert Mills designed the Washington Monument. This is the same guy right here that designed this. Walterboro was founded by Mr. Walters, believe it or not. How they came to the name, I just don't quite know. But in the year 1783, which was the year of the Treaty of Paris, which is the end of the American Revolution, this building was erected in 1820, which is only 8 years after the War of 1812. And I just love these historic buildings, and just think of the people that went up through this portico and went into this courthouse for just legal issues, whether it was they're looking at property or they had to talk to a judge or a magistrate. And I just love the history. So just unique place here in Walterboro, and let me walk around a little bit more and just see what else that we could see in this neat place of Walterboro, South Carolina. Okay, one of the things I love about old towns that have a substantial history, I am standing next to the old water tower. If you can see this, can you look at that thing? In Walterboro. They built this water tower back in 1915. And I tell you what, you talk about thinking outside the box when they made this water tower. Not only did this thing hold 100,000 gallons of water, this thing was also a jail. I'm going to turn this around. Well, maybe not. I can see you can look in here. And here's the you see some of the cells in there. Could you imagine that? I can see the founders or the designers in the city of Walterboro when they made this water tower. You know, I tell you what, guys, let's just not only make a water tower, but let's make it a jail as well. My goodness, look at that thing. And I guess one of the unique things about being a cellmate here, with 100,000 gallons of water above your head, I guess you could take a shower anytime you wanted to. But isn't that something? I just love these old historical towns. Walterboro. Let's just see what else we can find here. Okay, I am in the middle of the Walterboro Wildlife Sanctuary. And if you can see the water moving right down here, like I mentioned earlier, in the Lowcountry, there is so much water, whether it's marshes or rivers or streams or bogs or swamps. And a neat thing about a swamp is a lot of people think a swamp is just like a bog. It just sits there. The water is always moving in a swamp. That's why there's not much stagnation. And this is part of the boardwalk in this wildlife area. They have it shut off for whatever reason. So I'm not going to go too far back, but you can just kind of see the dark water behind me, and that's all the minerals in the water. But there's so many places all throughout this part of South Carolina that's easy to show or easy to open up and show everyone what nature is. And it's just, this is what it was like hundreds of years ago, and that's just so special, so unique. So and like I mentioned before, There's so many places on the list or bucket list for people to see when they visit South Carolina, but I think the real treasure, the fun part of these small little towns that no one knows about, that offer so much uniqueness and special, oh gosh, discoveries when you visit these places. And as I go along, you'll see more and more of them. And how you doing? Good, man. And especially neat places to eat. And you'll see many of these places. One of the things that South Carolina really specializes in is barbecue. Oh my goodness, they have barbecue places all throughout the state that are just crazy good, crazy good. So I'm getting back on the main trail right here of this unique wildlife area. You can kind of see behind me how this goes, just miles and miles of just discovery. And if you can kind of see kind of behind me here or over here how the water just sits here. And this is what it's like in so many places in the Lowcountry. You always have to be aware, though, of the critters that crawl on the ground. And when it's low like this, amongst the cypress trees and everything, you have to watch out for the cottonmouth, the water moccasin. Up off the ground, you got to watch out for the copperheads and the rattlers that we have here. And of course, Bigfoot, got to watch out for Bigfoot. I think T-Rex, all those things are still here. But just a neat place. Really neat. So let me walk a little bit more and let me just see what else we can see in this neat place called Walterboro. I am at the Walterboro Airport, standing in front of the Tuskegee Airmen Memorial. If I can turn this around, you can see this. And they trained here at this airport during World War II. And to put things in perspective, I know we all experienced the Gulf War and what's going on in the world, but could you imagine the whole world at war? Because when the whole world is at war, it's survival for the whole world. And something that's so unique, Walterboro is in the Lowcountry of South Carolina, but very important to the strategy of World War II, because this memorial is a memorial to the Tuskegee Airmen. Tuskegee College is in Alabama, but they trained here before they went to Europe. And these guys were bad dudes, really bad dudes, extremely skilled. They flew the P-51 Mustang, the most advanced propeller airplane in World War II. They were known in the Americans' fighting groups as the Red Tails. The Germans called them, what did they call them? The Black Bird Men, scared to death of them because they shot down over or just under 300 German fighters, and they would escort the bombers from England to Europe, the B-17s and the B-24s. When they escorted our bombing group, these Tuskegee Airmen, it was the 332nd Fighter Group, we did not lose one bomber from enemy aircraft. These guys were just truly amazing. And this memorial is for them. As a matter of fact, I think some of them are still alive. But they trained here in Walterboro, South Carolina. And one of the unique things about this airport, being even it's a small town, the runway is over 6,000 feet. And a lot of it was because of these guys, the Tuskegee Airmen, what they did. I'm going to kind of walk over a little bit and show you the airport and how big it is. There's a lot of construction going on over here. But I just think it's remarkable that all during the war, that certain parts of this country were used to train men and women for World War II, and this is where the Tuskegee Airmen trained. I think it's just so cool. And kind of turn this around a little bit right here. I'm walking over to the airport. Well, I better not do that. I was gonna walk through the gate. So let me kind of walk through here and we can take a look at the runway. Well, here we are on the runway of the Walterboro Airport. And you can see there's a jet over there. So it has a long enough runway, but the history here and what the Tuskegee Airmen did to protect this country and help win the war against Nazism. And again, there's just so much history in these small towns all through South Carolina. It's just so enlightening and just so unique, and I enjoy it so much. So thanks for being with me this morning, going through the neat town of Walterboro, and I will catch you soon at some other location.